Hey everyone, today I Purva Sharma with my group partners Lalit Narwadia, Neetu Agaria and Kashish Gupta are here to present the presentation on the topic factor affecting compensation. So here we are going to start with the topic compensation. The very first thing is, what do you mean by compensation? Compensation is one of the biggest reason of the disputes between employer and employee. So employee provide their services to business and they devote their time, their energy, their skills and knowledge to the organization. In consideration of this devotion, the employer gives compensation to the employees. So compensation is the award to employee is dependent on the volume of effort they provide or the volume of work they give to the organization, the nature of job and skills. Besides, there are several internal and external factors that affects the compensation. uh, external factors are those factors on which organization do not have any direct control, but internal factors are those factors on which organization has a direct control over such factors, and they can change their policy and norms accordingly. But an external factor, they have to change in accordance with the external factor. So, some of the external factors which affect the employee compensation are demand and supply of labor, cost of living, economic condition, privileging wage level, society, government control, labor union, legislation, globalization, cross-sector mobility, and compensation survey. So, these are the various external factors that affect compensation. Now, coming up to the internal factors, the very first factor is compensation policy of organization. The second factor is employer affordability. Third is worth of a job. Fourth is employees' worth. And the fifth one is organizational ability to pay. Sixth, job analysis and job description. And the seventh one is related factors. The next slide is continued by Neetu Agaria.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to continue the presentations. External factors that affect the organization's compensation plan. Now, there are various factors that exist out of the organization that do affect the employee compensation plan in one or the other way. First one is labor market. As we all know that demand and supply of labor also influences the employee compensation. The low wage is given to labor when demand of labor is less than the supply of labor. On the other hand, high pay is fixed in case the demand is more than the supply of labor. For example, employees with rare skill sets and expertise gained through experience get higher wage and salary than the ones with the ordinary skills in the job market. Next point is cost of living. Cost of living index also influences the compensation plan of the company. Here, generally the labor union is formed where demand is more and supply of labor is less, or they are involved in some kind of dangerous work. So they demand more money for the increased cost of living. For example, this rise of cost of living is compensated by the company by paying dearness allowance with the basic pay. Some firms even increases index pay to the inflation rate and sacrifice merit rate to provide across the board increases designed to reduce the rate of inflation, reduce the effect of inflation. Next point is economic conditions. Organizations having state-of-art technology in place, excellent productivity records, higher operational efficiency, a pool of skilled manpower, etc., can be a better paymasters. Thus, compensation is the consequence of level of competitiveness prevailing in any given industry. Fourth point is prevailing rate, or we can say going rate. The compensation is decided on the basis of rate prevailing in the industry, that is, the amount the other firms are paying for the same kind of work For example, mostly the organization fix their pay in keeping with the level of similar jobs in the industry. They frequently conduct wage surveys and accordingly seek to keep their wage level for different jobs of a particular firm keeps its for different jobs. For example, if a particular firm keeps its pay level high, then its employee cost will become heavier and which may escalate the end of cost of any product. Next one is society. Compensation paid to employees often affects goods and services pricing of any firm. That's why consumers are also become interested in compensation decision. Businesses in a local labor market are also concerned with the pay practices of new firms locating in that particular area. The Supreme Court has been keeping social and ethical considerations in adjusting wage and salary disputes. It was also considered to keep the company wages in line with the other wages in the community. Now, further points will be elaborated by Kashish Gupta.
So the next factor is the government control. Government through various legislative enactments such as the Minimum Wages Act 1948, Payment of Wages Act 1936, Equal Remuneration Act 1976, Payment of Bonus Act 1965, dealing with the Provident Funds, Gratuities, Companies Act, etc. have a bearing on a compensation decisions. Therefore, these firms have to decide on the salaries and the wages of the employees in the light of the relevant acts. Union influences the collective bargaining strength of the trade unions, which influences the wage labels. Trade unions enjoys an upper hand in the certain industries like the banking, insurance, transport and the other public utilities. Therefore, wage structures in such industries and in such union active regions, salaries and the wages needs to be fixed and revised in consultations with the unions for ensuring smooth industrial relations. Legislations. The Minimum Wages Act enables the central and the state governments to fix minimum rate of wages payable to the employees in suited industries. The Equal Remuneration Act provides for payment of equal remuneration to men and the women workers for same or their work. The Equal Pay Act 1963 prohibits an employer from paying an employee of one gender less than money than an employee of the opposite gender, if both the employees are performing the same nature of the job, same responsibilities, efforts and the same skill. Globalization. It has shared in the era of the higher compensation level in many sectors of the economy. The entry of multinational corporations and the big corporates have triggered a massive change in the compensation structure of the companies across sectors. There is a salary boom in the sectors like information technology, hospitalities, biotechnologies, electronics, financial services, and many more industries. Cross-sector mobility. Contemporary companies find it difficult to benchmark the salaries of their staff with others in the industries, thanks to mobility of talent across the sectors. For example, hospitality sector employees are hired by airlines, BPOs, healthcare companies, and the telecom companies. Compensation survey. A compensation survey strives to obtain the data regarding what other firms are paying for its employees for specific jobs within a given labor market. The survey may be either outsourced to a consulting firm or conducted by the organization itself. In this market, rates remain the most important standards for determining pay. Over to Lalit.
Now let's talk about the internal determinants of compensation. Number 1. Compensation policy of the organization. It provides general guidelines for making compensation decisions. The first thing employees should consider while developing compensation package is fairness. It should be vital and maintain internal and external equality. The policy should include the company's philosophy related to the measure components of incentive compensation, including the strength and weakness of each and how the overall plan provides optional alignment of interest and show owners. Now second, worth of a job. An organization would like to pay their employees in terms of the worth of the job when they are going to perform for the organization. The job's worth can be calculated by conducting through job evaluation and comparing the job with other in the organization as well as with the jobs in competitive organization. Number third, the organization's ability to pay. The compensation an organization pays to its employee depend upon its ability to pay. This factor is less important in the short run because there is a minimum level of wage which a company must pay. In the long run, the ability of an organization pay can affect upon its compensation decision. Number fourth, job analysis and job description. Now, job analysis and job description is a systematic process of determining the skill and knowledge required for performing a particular job. Like, determine what task can be accomplished by whom, decide which job classification should be exempt and which should not be exempt, develop job model description for exempt and non-exempt position, and distribute the models to equivalents for reviews and comment, adjust job description if necessary, and last, finalize and document all job description and evaluate jobs accordingly. Fifth, job related. Employee characteristics affects its remuneration as well as according to its remuneration are being affected like in the terms of performance, experience, seniority and employees caliber. Like performance, employees who perform more than the standard should be given reward and which motivates them for the organization to perform well in the future as well for the organization. Number second, experience. A person learns through a lot of from his experience and for the experience the organization paid them compensation as well. Number third, seniority. Seniority is the most important criteria to pay increase. Senior employees should be paid more than the compared to the junior. Number fourth, employee caliber. Employee are the paid for the potential as well. Like we have seen, employee caliber can be sometimes paid more as compared to the senior and experienced employees in the organization. Last, cost of living. Increase in the cost of living rise the cost of goods and services. It varies from areas to areas within a country and also from country to country. The changes of compensation are based on consumer price index, which measure the average changes in the price of basic necessities like food, clothing, fuel, medical services, etc. over a period of time. Now lastly, let's talk about some conclusion. Now we can say that each and every company must identify its mission and understand the perspective within which it has been operating and developing a policy and structure for meeting its objectives and goals. To retain, attract and motivate the employees require a high level of performance of the human capital plan, and its adopts must contribute to its success. The direct compensation policy and strategy utilization must be fitting the context and contributing to organizational effectiveness. The rate of the pay must be fair, perceived and compensative as appropriate as by the company. Thank you.